because the political imbroglio lingers. On that note, I welcome you to another session here on Hard Facts this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. 8 minutes gone past 5. I am Kalada Korubatibu, and you are, of course, once again listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info Live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH is the handle, and we're very much active and interactive on X, Nigeria Info PH. You could also follow me on social media. My handle is dkalada, THEKALADA. Now, let's go to the meat of our conversation for the hour. Remember, during the big stories, I brought you away the story that Martin Amaewhule-led assembly in their last sitting, in their last plenary, threatened or promised or claimed, whichever adjective or adverb you want to use there to describe what I'm intending to say. But, they said that they would invoke the law on the executive arm of government, and they were specific. They talked about people who are portraying themselves as commissioners. They talked about permanent secretaries. They talked about these people saying they're aiding the governor to flout the law. And I brought in a lawyer to help me have the conversation. Remember, yesterday we talked about INEC's reaction to the assembly matter. INEC said conflicting judgment is a major reason why they have not conducted by-elections. J.C. Williams is a lawyer. He is a politician, and he's a stakeholder here in Beaver State. Welcome on the show. It's good to have you, Barrister Williams.
Thank you, my brother Kalada.
Okay, so the last time we had a conversation, sometime last week, we talked about the whole situation in the state. I do believe at the time the Federal High Court had made that judgment, and we were wondering the possibility or the efficacy of that judgment. However, today we're seeing another report where the Martin Amaewhule-led assembly is saying that they will, use the law against the executive arm of government. They will caution commissioners because of that same matter, presenting the budget before the assembly. What's your reaction to that? Let's start from there.
Well, thank you for having me, my brother. You see, I said here I think like you said last week.
Last week, yeah.
And I said this whole brouhaha today in Rivers State will be settled at the Supreme Court.
You mentioned that.
Because the groups, or I call them groups, the Martin Amaewhule, the Oko Jumbo, and all of them, they always tell you they have judgment. They always tell you they have something they are hinging on. Why they are acting in the manner they are acting. Be it Oko Jumbo, be it Martin Amaewhule. So I think the earlier the Supreme Court settled this matter, the better for us in Rivers State. But again, unfortunately, the parties are just playing around.
Oh, you said the parties, both groups now?
Yes, okay. They're just playing around.
Okay. It's
like the both of them are scared of the Supreme Court.
Why?
Yes, because you see, this is, to me, it is a constitutional matter. I've said it repeatedly. The provisions of the Constitution is clear. If you think the Constitution is by your side, or you are by the side of the Constitution, either way, you know the right thing to do. And let this whole thing end.
So what's the right thing? Because like you said, it's already before the Supreme Court. What else can they do?
Now, that's what I'm telling you. They will leave what is before the Supreme Court. And every day you hear Federal High Court. You hear Federal High Court. You hear State High Court. You hear so that's the point.
Because I remember last time you talked about their lawyers taking advantage of the
That's it. It's believed in a way that the Martin Amaewhule and his group are federal government children.
Okay.
Then in the other side is also believed that Oko Jumbo and his group
they are state
government children.
Okay.
So you see, They are just running federal high court, state high court, federal appeal, back to federal high court, back to state, just like that. So whether Martin Amaewhule, whether Ogojo, go and do the right. You brief your lawyers to do the right thing.
Now, as a lawyer, I asked you this question last week, and I'm asking you again because it will help me, transit to my next question. If a governor does not submit budgets, he has committed gross misconduct, true or false?
That's correct.
If a governor refuses to send commissioners commissioner designates or nominees, to the assembly, that's a gross misconduct.
That's correct.
Why do you think the Martin Amaewhule-led assembly, they, like you also made reference to, they say they have judgments in their favor, they have told us and they've convinced Rivers people that they have judgments in their favor. Why are they not acting under gross misconduct, in your opinion, as a lawyer, but rather would make, threats or warnings like this, or, go to a federal high court, like you also have referenced, and ask the federal high court to stop allocation to the state, instead of facing the main problem, which, like you've also referenced, the law, if it falls or swings to their direction, should act on it.
Galada, there is a story in the Bible. I told you last time.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And with your leave, I will tell that same story again today. Okay. That's exactly what is playing out in Rivers State. You say you have judgment, and that judgment says you are the authentic. Let me you have. The court say you have not. Now, story. You have killed your child.
Okay.
You have killed your child with your own hands, and then the other woman is careful to manage her own child. In the morning, you swab the dead one, took the one that is alive, and of course, the mother got to King Solomon. Solomon said, "Okay, what do I do?" That's the one that the wife is, the son is dead. That one say, "Just share this child into two. Give me one part." By so doing, Solomon would have killed the one that was alive. And they asked the real owner, the mother of the one that is alive. He said, "King, instead of you to kill this child, please give to her. When the child grows up, what happened? The child will know his real mother."
Who the real mother is.
Now back to Rivers State. And again, there's something my book used to say, that the moment something what you are eating fell on the ground, the moment it falls on the ground, it has touched sand. No matter how you clean it, it has touched sand. So these people are in dilemma. That's the truth. So what to be very precise, what the Martins and his friends are doing is to make the state ungovernable. Let me say that. Because one, the matter is before the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Why don't you hold on? But
we've also said on the show that it will become an academic exercise.
Whether it will become an academic exercise or not, there is an appeal. Why don't you just hold on? But this one, like, back to your question, okay, all this amount to gross misconduct. If you are not afraid of the court of public opinion, let me tell you something, the Canada here in Rivers State.
I'm listening.
Even people who don't know Sim, Governor Sim, even people who don't have any business with him, today in Rivers State are supporting him. You know the reason? The reason is that, look, allow this state to move on. It means because of 27 or how many persons, a whole state will not have allocation.
Now,
and you think the Rivers people, whether you are for Sim or against him, will start and will be clapping hands for you? It's not possible.
Now, court of public opinion you've mentioned, but if indeed it is gross misconduct, does it matter what the court of public opinion is?
That is the point. They are afraid.
Okay.
You don't know that they are afraid? Let them come and sit.
And start
because this issue of commissioner, we don't have commissioner because we have not screened them. Like in your question, it amounts to gross misconduct. It's impeachable. In a normal circumstance, it's impeachable. So why are you not talking about impeaching the governor now? Because last year they tried it didn't work. Now people are waiting. You don't need to be a PDP or APC or a politician. to know what is bad.
What do you think will happen when you talk about court of public opinion? Once again, if they have the power, if they have the locus, like you lawyers would say.
Which power?
I'm asking if they.
Okay, if they. That's why I told you that even them, they are afraid.
Even if they have the power?
Canada. Because they don't have. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
And even if they claim they do have,
I'm listening.
Today in Rivers State, civil servants. See, forget. You see, in politics, we speak grammar, we will do this, we will do all manner of manipulation. It goes down to the grassroots. There are civil servants in this state, and as far as those civil servants are concerned, what is in the air now? That Martin Amaewhule and his group don't want us to take salary.
Okay.
That is the thing. They don't want to know the technicalities or legal whatever. They are not in court. Their own is at the end of the month. Give them their salary. Give them their allowance. And as far as an average Rivers man is concerned today in this state, by the time we get to the end of November and there is no allocation, well, let me pause there.
But of course, the governor has said it will not disrupt.
Well, I said last time, I hope it's sustainable.
He said it will not disrupt his activities. He will be able to pay salary.
Whether whether Governor Fubara likes it or not, he cannot say that. I know that is political.
No, but I gave you statistics. Even data wise.
No. I agree. Let me tell you, that is your entitlement. It's not a question of we use the idea and all that. That is not. It's not just Governor Fubara's entitlement. That's the entitlement of Rivers people.
Okay.
It's a Rivers people. We are talking Rivers State now. We're not talking of Governor Fubara or Governor Wike. No. That's for whatever you people are doing. Whatever people are doing, looking for power and who is to be in charge of resources and all that, should not affect the average Rivers man. Do what you are doing in Abuja and all that. Allow people take that their 50,000-70,000 naira salary. Let me tell you, people's children will go to school. They will pay rent. They will feed. They wait for months to end to get that money. And you say federal government, court have stopped the allocation. And you expect people to see that and fold hands and be clapping for you. Nobody will do that though.
All right.
Even if you have a good case.
So I'm going to read this. Where is it now? Sorry. It says, commenting on the judgment, the Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Amaewhule, said, since 1st of July 2024, Governor Fubara has been spending monies of the state without approval, hence the declaration of the shutdown of expenditure. Yet the governor, in his characteristic manner of disobeying judgments of courts, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and extant laws, has continued to circumvent the law with the aid of permanent secretaries and some individuals who parade themselves as commissioners. They will certainly have a date with the law. So he says there will be a date with the law. What does the law say about issues like this? Can a permanent secretary refuse to obey the orders of a governor or even a commissioner who is a part of the cabinet?
I was coming to that.
Okay.
The governor, rightly or wrongly, appointed these people.
Okay.
And then you have forgotten about the appointor. You are now interested, threatening, let me use that word.
Appointees?
The appointees. What is the sense? If you feel that this were the processes were not duly followed, you know where to go to. Not commissioners, not permanent secretary. And that brings us to what I just told you. Canada, it is no longer PDP, APC, Labour Party.
But before you continue, but I really want to know, can a permanent secretary be held liable for decisions of a governor?
No.
Because he's a civil servant.
No, he's a civil servant. He's only carrying out the instruction of the governor. How? He's a civil servant. There is civil service rule.
Okay.
You cannot disobey the governor or this. It's not possible.
But if the governor is asking him to commit a crime,
nobody does that. Governor can say permanent secretary can commit a crime.
I have seen a permanent secretary, not of this state, by the way, but I've seen a permanent secretary who was,
And don't even forget, you see, no Rivers State. Sorry, Rivers State is a very peculiar one.
Okay.
Even if the permanent secretary commits something against the law,
okay,
do you know there is a judgment? That same judgment.
What judgment is that?
Have you forgotten? That same judgment that the governors enjoy, that the EFCC, nobody can investigate them. He can't also investigate the permanent secretary.
But the House of Assembly can investigate the governor. The House of Assembly can look into the books, as
and where would that
enshrined in the Constitution.
Yes, that is what. Look, if the House of Assembly investigates a governor and then finds, the governor wanted, they can invite. That's where their power ends. What they will do is they will invite the maybe EFCC or ICPC.
Impeach him. What about impeaching him?
No, impeachment, yes, is an option. Impeachment is an option. But you see, Canada, the truth to be told, that the way Rivers State is polarized today, even if the assembly, the authentic and non-authentic, want to impeach the governor, there will be problem. Because the state is polarized. That's the truth about it. So no matter, look, it's a serious problem. Because the Martin Amaewhule group, by the court judgment, say they are assembly members. Of course, that is what the judgment says. The Oko Jumbo 2 group say there is a court judgment and they are still there in charge. The two of them cannot be right at the same time. But today in Rivers State, two of them are assembly members, assembly factions. So, and people of Rivers State have tilted towards either here or there. So whatever you do, no matter how legal, no matter how legitimate, no matter how right you want to look at it, people will get up and say that lie. Politics.
Okay, I'll get back to you shortly, but let's quickly go for a commercial break.
Nigeria Info.
Yes, we are back, and you're listening to Hard Facts and 92.5. Pleasure having you on the other side. 92.5. Pleasure having you on the other side of the radio. Okay, so we're looking at the political dynamics in Rivers State. Martin Amaewhule-led assembly, giving some kind of query, can I call it that, to the executive arm of government, saying that they will invoke the wrath of the law. They said something like, don't worry, they will have a date with the law. What are the options when they say, apart from impeachment, we'll come back to impeachment, but apart from impeachment, what are the options that the Martin Amaewhule-led assembly have? What are the options you have? JC Williams, welcome back on the show.
The options, apart from impeachment, I don't know of any other option.
Because they said the wrath of the law. I'm wondering what the law.
Yeah, the wrath of the law. They may have said the commissioners and the PAMSEC, they will soon have a date with them and all that. But that may not be their focus. The PAMSEC and the commissioners may not be their focus.
Can they arrest them? Will the police? Would the police, listen to such petitions?
No, they can't. They can't. They are governor. Look, governor appointed them.
Mm-hmm.
And the governor who appointed them believes that as at when they were appointed, they were screened by the properly constituted House of Assembly.
And that's why they're in court.
And that's why they're in court. And the matter is still in court. You can't do them anything. The only option, which even them they know, if it is possible, is to impeach the governor.
Run me through an impeachment process now for the Martin Amaewhule-led assembly. How possible, given... I mean,
you see,
they have to write to the chief
judge.
But the chief judge listen to them, given the matter is in court.
You see, Canada, I wouldn't want us to discuss impeachment here.
I'm just trying to understand something, because when they said the wrath of the law,
they say wrath of the law. They didn't say impeachment.
Okay, so this is it now, right? Some Rivers people, on the show, I've listened to other radio stations. I've been saying, "Oh, if you have the power, why suffer Rivers people? Why put the burden on Rivers people? Why are you withholding?" Like you said, the civil servants think they are the ones trying to remove. So why not, like you've also said, tackle the person you believe is the problem if you think gross misconduct? So you have said they don't have the power to. You have said they are afraid to. And I'm wondering why they are. And that's why I've asked you that question I've asked you.
Look, you see, Canada, it's not easy to impeach a governor.
I agree with you.
Especially in the present River State. It is not easy. That's why I pray that they don't even consider that, so that we'll be sleeping in our houses.
Could that be the reason why they are taking caution? Because it's not easy. It's too daunting a task.
Yeah, that's why I started. I said, look, why don't you hold on? Let court finally settle this matter. Let the Supreme Court come up with their position, one way or the other. So that at that point, even if, assuming the Martins group are right, of course, then there's no, everybody will just say, Supreme Court have said so.
Assuming the Martins group are right, it's still going to be difficult to impeach the governor, true or false?
No, you see, let me tell you something. The Supreme Court is Supreme Court, though.
No, I'm not arguing.
That's why I said, if Supreme Court comes up today to say, look, it is this group, it is this faction that is the House of Assembly of River State. Canada, they can do anything.
But impeachment is difficult still. Look at it.
Impeachment normally is a very difficult thing to achieve. Then again, now add the crisis in River State, where everything is viewed political.
Because there will be people, after it's got into the chief judge, who will sit, the Constitution says people of just character and all of that. Now we go back to the court of public opinion. So if the court of public opinion is something, does that not make it? Could that be the reason why the Martin Amaewhule-led assembly is very cautious?
Yes, let me tell you. Though the law is law, but you see, Canada, in democracy,
okay,
the court of public opinion, it's a court that you don't joke with. Because the same people who will be in the panel are coming from the public.
Okay.
They have village, they have community, they have relation. Look, in our state today, Canada, it's annoying what is happening.
Okay.
That's why I am of the opinion that the Supreme Court, the party to this whole thing in River State, should all submit to the Supreme Court once and for all. Let us know where we are.
Can it
we keep going back and forth every day.
Can it be what's the word now? Can it be sped up? No. Can it be expedited?
Yes, it can. But Supreme Court, it's not only River State that is a state in this country. So
can we, as a people, River State or even the governor? I think during Wike's time as governor, during the VAT issue, there was the expediting of that VAT issue.
That is a different case. That case is different because a matter between the states and the federal government, especially when it's a constitutional matter, it goes straight to the Supreme Court. But unlike what you have today, state high court, federal high court, appeal, come back, state high court, federal high court, appeal, come back.
But the matter is before the Supreme Court. And I don't know if we can argue and say, if this does not arrive at a solution, River State will be in crisis. Is this something the Supreme
We're already in crisis. Even the Supreme
when I
Court
say
judges
crisis,
know.
when I say crisis, you know what I'm talking about. Is this something that we can argue in court to expedite?
That's when they give you date first. They must give part Supreme Court. The registry must give you date first for you to come before the Supreme Court judges and apply that, please, you want to abridge time. You want to abridge time because of the nature of this matter is that you must be heard first. You must appear and then make a plea. And
the problem is on the issue of defection, there is no hearing justice.
That is the point. I'm tired. The problem is defection. Did you defect? If you have defected, then why are we here? If you have not defected, why this whole trouble? That will be decided by the Supreme Court, because this back and forth appeal, federal, state, it will lead us to nowhere.
So why do you think the Supreme Court is here to hear? Because I know there are about 2 cases before the Supreme Court.
Not that Supreme Court is. I told you something about my learned friends.
Okay.
The lawyers in this matter. I don't know whether maybe because of what they are getting. Today you are in federal high court. The other day you are in state high court. The other day there is a stay of proceeding. There is a stay of execution. So there is appeal. So there is a stay.
Back and forth.
Back and forth. And like you said, the target may be because some persons might feel that after a certain time this will become academic. But even at that, it doesn't stop the processes of the law.
So can the law catch up with them in, how do you say it, in retrospect? Because if it passes 2024, what else can be done?
Well, nothing can be done. But the point is, will some of us love money to the point that would say that would go throw in all manner of frivolous applications because you want to protect the interests of your client. Yeah, it is your duty to protect the interests of your client, but there are certain things you consider. So, all the lawyers in this, please advise your clients. Let Supreme Court decide this. If Supreme Court says today, Canada, you know what will put the lasting solution to reverse the problem? If Supreme Court comes to say, look, by this, that, you people, you have defected. Do you know the problem is solved?
It's solved, yeah.
It is solved and solved forever till 2027.
So you don't blame the judges?
Why should I blame the judges? Judges are not spirits. It is what is before them. I'm a lawyer.
In all of the cases, the ones at the state high courts, the ones at the federal high courts, the about 3 matters that have been before the Court of Appeal, you're saying you don't blame the judges. Justice Abdul Malik.
When you say blame, you must tell me the area you want me to blame.
No, based on their judgment.
No. You see, judgment. The processes
and orders.
Processes of court does not begin and end with ruling or judgment.
Okay.
It starts with the processes before the court. What did you file? What did I file? These are the things that informs the judge to take decision one way or the other. That is not to say that everybody in the bench, all the judges are good people. That's not to say that.
But there's there's a bit of a fault as to the way the lawyers apply before this judge.
No, it doesn't lie with me as a lawyer to fault a judge.
No, I'm talking about the lawyers now.
Let me tell you something. If a judge of federal high court, a judge of state high court, you as a counsel, you feel, there was miscarriage of justice. That's why we have court of appeal. If the same thing happens there, that's why we have Supreme Court. But one thing I will not do is to sit in the studio and begin to sit on appeal on a judgment delivered by a judge. Rightly or wrongly, it's not in my position to do that.
This lawyer you've seen on my screen has said, the solution to the issue is political. Do you agree? You've just said Supreme Court will finalize the matter. But it looks like Supreme Court is not sitting on this matter anytime soon. Do you think we should go for a political solution?
See, Kalada, I watched, I think it was Democracy Today, about 1 or 2 weeks ago. Shehu in channel, Politics Today, yes, where he featured the former Ekiti State Governor, Amaewhule-led, yeah. And he asked, why don't you talk to your friend Wike and see how... You know what? I'm the governor.
I remember what he said.
He said that the problem can no longer be settled politically.
Yeah, I heard.
That's what the former governor said. So to tell you, even, you know, part of the problem of Rivers State is engineered from outside. That's what a former governor will say, that you cannot handle this matter. But he was the same person who was advising Governor Fubara sometimes. If you try to know this, you will see spirit and all that. Now, to tell you that Governor Fubara and every minister of FCT Wike, there are people behind them,
fanning them,
collecting money, and then Rivers people will suffer. No.
So I'm thinking here again.
So Supreme Court, in a nutshell, what am I saying? Those political jobbers should remain where they are. Supreme Court should please come to our rescue and rescue the people of Rivers State. Say it one way or the other. Let this whole thing end.
If the NJC, not the NJC now, the CJN had said that some judges in the state and the Federal High Court were supposed to be before the NJC. I think this week, was it this week? I think this week. And then is it the president now? Is it the chief judge of the Federal High Court Abuja? Should also appear before her. Do you think if British people petition the Supreme Court or the NJC or something or the CGN, these matters can be expedited? Because once again, if you say political solution no longer would work, we're thinking it's a constitutional matter, so we need the interpretation of the courts. How do we get, in your opinion, the Supreme Court to hasten, to quickly end? Because it's affecting the media, it's affecting the entrepreneur, it's affecting the market. I mean, everybody.
The CJN is the head of the NJC.
Okay, true.
Yes.
Yeah.
If, in her wisdom, she have identified the chief judge of the Federal High Court and have identified the chief judge of the state High Court. Yeah. Because you know why? These two personalities are the people that assign cases to the judges. That is where you see the solution is coming now. Why should it be, for instance, in the Federal High Court, any matter that has to do with Rivers State, there are judges that must be the ones that it will be assigned to. No other judge. It must be either 3 of them or 4. Now I think another one has been added. 4. They are the people that know laws as it affects Rivers State. Now, if the CJN wants to play her role as a CJN, she knows what to do. She's a judge. She knows.
Can you tell us you're a lawyer?
I'm a lawyer. I'm not a judge.
The judges were once lawyers. So
yes, you graduate from being a judge, a lawyer to judge. There's something they see that I don't see.
Okay.
I've never been to the bench.
Okay.
That's why they are now judges. I am still a lawyer.
Okay.
They are both judges and lawyer. I'm just one, a lawyer. So there are things that they know that I don't know.
Okay.
So they should use that thing that they know that we don't know to solve the problem of Rivers State. Because you cannot tell me that a judge, every now and then, you roll out expert orders. Every now and then, you roll out expert orders. And nothing is happening. So please, the CJN should do something now. And again,
so you think the CJN can solve the problem?
And let me tell you something.
No,
yes, she can. But let me also.
How can she?
Let me tell you. But unfortunately, you remember the former CJN of Rivers State of Nigeria,
Onoge, yeah.
You remember when Onoge was CJN?
Yeah.
And then Onoge was coming here, Rivers State, to be flagging, doing foundation laying of
when Wike was governor.
I
remember that.
People started talking. CJN, is it your duty to leave Abuja to come to a state to begin to do foundation laying.
But it was for the judiciary.
It doesn't matter whether it was for the judiciary. No. Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. You see, the truth be told, when a sitting governor begins to build houses for federal high court judges, is it your work?
But it was it building?
No.
Was it for federal high court?
Let me tell you what I mean. Is it the duty of the sitting governor?
Okay.
To start building federal high court courts?
Federal high courts. But
is it Canada? Now you know why. You know why I started with Onoge.
Okay.
You saw how Onoge ended.
Okay. He has been
let me.
But he has been.
No, let me tell you. I'm going somewhere.
But he has been vindicated.
Yes, that's his grammar. You spoke there, vindicated. Again, you know why I mentioned Onoge? Our dear loving CJN, the current CJN, Kekereku. What happened in Abuja? The FCT minister said that he has taken Julius Berger land. He said so.
He revokes the land.
That is taken. Let's not. You see, so the grammar just.
But you are the lawyer.
No, I'm the lawyer. I'm communicating. It's not just me and you. People are listening to us. People who are not lawyers, who are not enlightened. Okay. So that sometimes I speak this kind of grammar so that they will understand. Call it revoke. Call it whatever. I have taken the land. The same CJN now. You see the fear. Precedence was set to River State. And the same person who said that precedence in River State is now a city minister.
Are you alleging that
if you go to
I'm coming, JC Williams Esquire, are you alleging that the judiciary, or should I say the CJN, has been ported by
that's why I say I'm not yet a judge. Maybe there's something they see and how they see it that I'm yet to know. Otherwise, what I'm telling you now, this issue of Julius Berger property in Abuja, it was the same our current CJN, just like Onege did here, have gone to say they are building houses for judges in Abuja. The same property will be a subject of litigation.
But you are a lawyer, so you know the Constitution better than non-lawyers. It is said that the executive arm of government is to execute, right?
Yes.
Should the judiciary be building houses? I'm just asking.
Should the judiciary be building houses?
Or building courts? Who builds for the judiciary?
The judiciary, the judiciary is an independent arm of the government.
I agree.
Their money goes directly to them.
But now,
unfortunately,
who built the National Assembly, for instance? The complex.
No. That complex was built during the military dictatorship.
Okay, let's leave that.
Yes.
In the states now, in River State, who builds the legislative chamber that was destroyed?
That is the point. That's what we're saying. It's not the duty of the executive to build the legislative chamber. It's not the duty of the executive to build courts and houses for the judges.
So who's supposed to do that?
That's why we have three arms of government.
But the
legislature should manage their fund, build whatever they want to build. The judiciary, that's why the governor or the president will sit and see himself as a demigod. Oh, I have bought cars for judges. Okay. I have built houses. It's not your function.
Okay, for instance,
give them their money.
For instance, talking about legislative cars, for official duties, they were done by the president. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was part of the budget for that year. I stand to be corrected. So I'm wondering, is it not part of the functions of the executive to execute financial expenditure?
Not for the judiciary,
and not
for the legislature.
Okay, all right.
You see, that's what makes them demigod. You will see a governor sit there and say, I have bought cars for judges. Are you supposed to be the one to buy car for them?
All right, let's take some calls. I still have one question which you've not answered, and that question is, how can the CJN, let's leave all the allegations and postulations, but how can the CJN, how can she solve this problem? Because you said she has...
You know how she can solve it?
You tell me.
It's to call the judges to order.
But they've already given the judgments.
No, of course. It is done. But there is... NJC can discipline an erring judge.
But how does that solve the problem now?
No, you see, let me tell you, Canada, if you are a judge in federal high court or state high court and you're due for promotion to be elevated to the appeal court, and because of what you did as a judge in a federal high court or state high court, and that elevation didn't come. For those of us in the legal profession, it is a serious thing.
So it means it will be like a warning to the next people.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines now. I've got less than 5-10 minutes thereabouts. So let's hear what the people have got to say. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-0306416. What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear from you, and let's get to quickly. Remember, go straight to the point, remain civil. We're talking for development. I got a lot of messages. This one says the political brine in the state is gradually turning into a troubled river. Fidelis Elemua from Chokochueche. You earlier said the political gladiators in the state should please allow the Supreme Court to handle the whole matters. Fidelis Nyanyi Elemua from Chokochueche. Thank you very much. And this one says, you said you would like to know who my guest is. JC Williams is my guest. This one says, my name is Princhel. Your guest is biased and economical with the truth. Let him answer your questions on the context of it. Has he not answered it on the context of it? I wonder. But this one says, tell your guest that the Martin Amaewhule-led and his group have already known the outcome of the Supreme Court. They're just marking time. The governor and his legal team are sleeping. There is no way the Supreme Court will rule against Wike's loyalists. That's an allegation. But let's go to the phone lines. I want to take a call or two. I'm waiting for the call to be screened. I wonder why. But let's see. This one says, where's Mr. President? The courts are gradually disintegrating our country by their action. Sit up, Mr. President, and call them to order. You cannot starve the goose that lays the golden egg. Darlington from Okrika. All right, so many messages. This one is interesting. It says, why are you always talking about Martin and his group? Let the Supreme Court talk about the defection first before you talk about them. But is that not what we're talking about? Anyways, let's listen to Patrick from Elime. Patrick, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
Yes, Mr. Kalada.
Yeah, quickly, go straight.
My understanding as in regard the judgment Martin Amaewhule making reference to, I think it is to restrict the River State government from accessing allocation from federal government. The judgment did not bar River State government from carrying out any function in the state or whichever they are just mentioning in that particular issue. They are not part of the judgment, so they should leave these people aside and focus on the matter. But on their authenticity, I think God will determine that. They are just going about masturbating parliamentary section. They are deformed. They don't exist. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I've got Robin from HA. Robin, be concise and be civil. Go straight to the point.
Good evening and greetings to our guests.
All right, welcome.
Let me tell you something. You have the guests sitting there, and that is what most of us have been saying. I, as a person, have been saying it. The judges cannot, despite the constitution, the ground law establishes them, according to Chapter 2 of Nigerian Constitution. They cannot. And begin to make law, begin to make judgment. The Constitution, Chapter 109, Sub 1G. The doctor says shall, and the law shall is must. That's our lawyer and there. Why what it says shall is must. Somebody to tell me the law of this land to say you have to go to what to defend. In the area of the constitution of the country, what longer is friends are no longer members of their family. The farmer.
All right, thank you, Robin. Thank you. I've got Godi from Ishopo. Godi, welcome.
Yes, good evening, Canada.
I greet you. Welcome.
Your guest has repeatedly said he's not a judge. He's not a judge. He's not a judge. So let him leave the matter that is meant for judges to handle. He will make a point. He said, judges know what to do. You will ask him, what are they supposed to do? He says he's not a judge. They know what to do. What are they supposed to do? He's not a judge. So if he's not a judge, let him leave matter that is meant for judges to be handled by judges and let him rest his case for crying out loud, please.
All right, thank you, Godi from Ishikpo. I've got Ben from Elime. Ben, welcome.
Yeah, good evening, possible.
I greet you. Welcome.
I greet your guest in the studio.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. It is very painful that we are still tracking ourselves backward. It is very unfortunate that we get this kind of calamity in this state because of political ambition or thereabouts. And this is what I have to say. I'm among the two groups that is tracking River State backward. They should stay away as of now. And
I didn't say anything. I'm listening to you.
Okay, I said they should stay away as of now.
Are you there? All right, I think we do have a connection issue. So we'll go for a quick commercial. When I come back, I'll ask you a question. Then we'll wrap things up. So please do stay tuned.